Thank you, Mr. Madison. Commissioners, would any of you like to ask a question of either Mr. Smith or Mr. Madison about this matter?
I would like to ask Mr. Smith a question. Mr. Smith, are you familiar with Jefferson County Election Commission versus the Honorable Hank Wilkins? I can give you the site.
Yes, Commissioner, I'm familiar with that case and intimately familiar with the entertaining characters who were a part of it.
Well, are you familiar with the fact that it specifically states in that case that the county is not statutorily liable for the election, but rather the commission is?
I would disagree that that is what the court held, but I would agree that the court made a determination that the authority to run an election is vested with the commission, and that the commission does not have to utilize a staff person designated as an elected election officer by the local government. I believe that was the seminal holding of that case. However, what I would say to supplement the response to your question is that I think what's important here is you have to look at, number one, the commission is responsible. The commission, not the individual commissioners. And so I want to be very clear. My argument is not that someone isn't responsible. My argument is not that the Pulaski County Board of Election Commissioners itself is not responsible. My argument is that this would be tantamount to Walmart doing me wrong, and I get to sue Walmart, but I also get to sue each and every member of Walmart's board of directors individually. That is not appropriate under our scheme of jurisprudence, and I don't think it's appropriate here.
That happens all the time.
I believe it does happen, but I believe 90% of the instances, those suits against the individual board members would be dismissed because of the concept of the attempt to pierce the corporate veil. And here, it's not a corporate veil, but I believe it is a governmental apparatus, as I've stated, that this is a body politic. And so, and actually this is a body politic, I believe would be appropriate, but I do not, we argue that an action against these individual commissioners is not.
Well, it's in their official capacity, you understand that, not their individual capacity per se. All right, and then the other question is, are you aware that many members of the Election Commission staff also received letters from us, and they agreed to settle those issues with what we offered?
Yes, ma'am.
And I just want to correct, it's not our staff doing it, it's we voted to do it.
Well, and yes, ma'am, I accept that, and I certainly don't want to argue, split hairs with you get to decide today. But my understanding is that the staff did the investigation, and then the staff put together a report and then made a recommendation to you. And so I would take that back if you take issue with it, and then just say the State Board of Election Commission, I believe, is got in what I believe is an inaccurate interpretation of the law here.
All right, and you are familiar with the fact that administrative boards don't make constitutional issue decisions, that's a court that does that?
Yes, ma'am, I am aware of that. However, what I'm arguing is that you have the authority here statutorily to make a decision as to who you charge. And it's our argument that here there's been an inappropriate charge levied against these ladies as individual officials. When, again, as individual officials, none of them would have done anything to change this. It would require a majority vote to be collected by policy.
Well, every member of the commission received a letter from us that the board voted on and determined was appropriate for settlement.
Yes,
Do you
ma'am.
understand that?
I am aware of that, but again, if I were the attorney for Mr. Price, I would advise him not to accept it either, because there's nothing he could have done as an individual commissioner to change any of this. And so I believe, again, the appropriate charge would have been against the body politic and not the individuals. In response to just one of the things that you brought up with regard to the staff accepting responsibility, I do criminal defense work, and if I had a client that intentionally committed a murder and was able to get a hand slap, I'd tell them to take that deal any day of the week. So if I had been their lawyers, I would have advised them to take what they got, because they're the true culpable parties here, in our opinion.
and you're familiar with the statute 74107, which says it's the responsibility of the commissioners to ensure that everything is done properly?
Yes, ma'am, I am aware of that. But I would argue that again, and I need to look at that, I would argue, I believe it says the commission, not commissioners. And I may be mistaken, but I believe it says the commission.
Well, the commissioners make up the commission. You know, you said before you don't want to split hairs, I don't either. But the commissioners are the ones who vote. And their votes are what brought us here today.
Yes, ma'am, and I certainly agree with that, the commissioners vote. And I guess where we're having a disagreement is that our position is that it takes a collective vote of more than one to do something or to choose not to do something. And so therefore, it would be appropriate for the body politic, the group, to accept responsibility here, not the individual who make up that group, who themselves, individually, could do nothing.